Okay, so this is my low production value for the assembly of my over-under barrel airsoft shotgun pistol. So, to get started here, let's get you looking at the pieces here. Alright, so to start with here, what you're going to want is the trigger mechanism pieces here. So you have the rear trigger, the front trigger, the lower firing pin, the upper firing pin, and the trigger mechanism bracket. Now to assemble this, you're going to need a few pieces here. I'm using an optional cut down nail, but there will be a 3D printable pin in the assembly, or in the files here. You're going to need a couple of springs. These are springs from the Signo, whatever you want to call it, click pens, ballpoint pens here. I've used these so much, I've got a bunch of them lying around that I can grab the springs out of. A couple paper clips, it's optional, but I use it so I don't have to glue everything together. And then a couple of extra pins, which are in the files, and then a couple lengths of 3mm filament if you have it. If not, then you can always use wire, a little metal rod, or something that'll essentially fit within that hole right there. So, simple assembly instructions here. So, lower trigger to the small pin, longer rear trigger to the upper pin. Okay, so real simply, you're going to take your filament, wire, whatever you have there, stick that in. Make sure the trigger, this bump is on the back side. You'll see why in just a moment here. And real simple instructions, just use a flat surface to kind of help you assemble here rather quickly. And so when you're putting this together, you want to keep in mind that there are these little tabs here. And on these tabs, you want to make sure that they are pointing towards the middle. So flip this over here. And go ahead and we'll quickly assemble that. Once again, flat surface, so pins are flush. So once you're at this point here, you're going to go ahead and stick it in the bracket. So as far as the bracket is concerned, you want to keep the thinner arm essentially at the top so that it'll clear underneath the barrel lock. To assemble this, it's really easy. Just make sure this tab here is pointing in towards the middle, turn it down, and then simply swivel in. Once again, with the bottom one, make sure the little tab is pointing down and swivel towards the middle. So once you've got that, everything is, you might have to do a little shaving to make it move smoothly, but essentially from here it's pretty easy. So next thing you want to do is you want to grab the body of the shotgun pistol. And then basically you're just going to go ahead, straighten these out just a hair here, and then you're just going to go ahead and slide them into the trigger well. Simple as that. Grab them through. Now, you may have noticed this already, but there's a couple of holes on the sides of the trigger bracket. They go all the way through for easy assembly with, just a bit of paper clip essentially. So these holes are going to line up with these holes here. So if you don't have a bright light to look down on, you can also just hold them up against a bright light and you can see through the holes pretty easily. So once you got them lined up, just simply take your paper clip and stick them through. Now if you don't have a paper clip or wire or something like that, you can also just simply glue it into place as well, but of course you won't be able to take it apart. Next thing you want to do is take these 3D printed pins. Now keep in mind these 3D printed pins here are going to be a different size than the barrel swivel pin, so just keep that in mind. And so just simply go ahead and line those up there and push them through. Alright, so that's good as done. So now you have little swiveling triggers here. So next thing you want to do, you want to take your little springs, stick them on top of there, and then take your barrel lock rounded side towards the back and just stick it in all the way towards the back. Keep it out of the way. Then take your barrel swivel and then you're just going to go ahead and line it up with the holes there and then just push it in. You'll notice that the plate face here is flush with those tops of those trigger pins. Next thing you want to do, take your other bent paper clip and just simply stick it in the front holes there, and it's all locked together. It's a little bit loose, but I mean you can use a thicker piece of wire or something, or just glue it in if you really don't want it moving around. But simple as that. This is essentially your firing mechanism. So next thing you want to do now, take your grip, It is keyed, so if it looks a bit weird, you're not really sure how it goes together, there's only one way to put it together. So it just simply slides on. You can put a couple drops of glue in there, or if you want, you can screw it in from the back, but really there's no any sort of need to it. There's enough suction in there that's not going to easily come off on its own. Next thing is the trigger guard. Just simply slide it into the bottom and just bend it a little bit and get it into the top. Just simply push from both sides and it's in. Next, your barrel. I think I might be releasing a few other barrels in the future, but for now we just have this standard length one, I guess you could call it. And just simply slides in there. Like I said, you'll have a printed pin, or you can upgrade it to a nail. I'm not sure what gauge of nail this is, but it's a pretty thick nail. And just simply go ahead and slide it in. Actually, I prefer to go from the other side here. Alright, there we go. All the way through, and that's good. So now you have a swiveling mechanism, your barrel lock here. Now there's going to be a little bit of play in this, but you know, shaking it around or anything like that's not going to cause it to loosen up too much here. And it should be pretty tight that you can easily go ahead and do that and let it drop. So I'm using these Goblin Airsoft shells here. You can find them on eBay. I'll have a link for them down below, as well as the location for these printing instructions here. And just simply go ahead and stick them in. They just slide right in. There is a little latch on the or a little lip on the inside. Not sure you can really see that. That'll prevent these from sliding off when you're in use. And basically there's a little lip for them to sit flush inside, just like that. And then just simply up, lock it in, and then you can just, simple as that. So you can go ahead and pull both triggers at the same time, or if you want to just one at a time, you can do that too, but what fun's that? So so yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's the airsoft shotgun there, and you know, they slide out pretty easily. You might want to hold on to them because they will essentially fly out if you're not too careful. So that's that. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have fun assembling this and using this. Hopefully they'll let you use this in an airsoft game, but yeah, that's that. Thanks for watching and have a good day.